Hello students, welcome to NEET Biology. This is Neelavati, your biology lecturer. Today I am going to teach you the first chapter of class 11 syllabus, that is the living world. It is one short video for NEET. So like this, I have done complete syllabus of class 11th as well as class 12th biology syllabus. That means overall 32 chapters. Overall 32 chapters videos I have done. All these chapter videos are just one shot only. That means 32 chapters and 32 videos. So all these videos are in channel membership. If you want to watch this video, you have to become a channel member by paying a small amount of rupees 199 per month. Okay. Now the question is, how to become a channel member? Correct? It is very simple. Just look at here. You can see a join button. Just click on it so that it will show you 199 rupees per month. You just pay the money and you will become a channel member. Very simple. Okay. Now, what is the advantage of becoming a channel member? See, we all know that NEET paper will be for 360 marks, right? If you watch all these 32 videos, I have provided all the information which are present in NCERT syllabus and at the same time more information which are regarding NEET. So if you watch complete videos from beginning to end without skipping any part, any topic, definitely I will give you 100% guarantee that you can score more than 350 for 360 in your NEET exam. Okay, so that is 100% guarantee. So without wasting time, let's get into the chapter. Okay. Yes, the first unit, diversity in the living world. When you take class 11th biology textbook and if you just look at the content, there will be 5 units. So in that, this is the first unit. Its name is diversity in the living world. I will tell you why I am even telling about the units, because the chapters which are so present in each unit, that will be interconnected. And at the same time, there are so many chapters that will be interlinked or interconnected to other chapters of class 11th or even class 12th also. Okay, so don't worry, I am here to help you. I will tell you while teaching itself how these chapters are connected, what are all the topics are connected with different chapters, everything I will tell you. Okay, so only thing is you have to listen the class and you have to make a notes along with me. Okay, yes. In the first unit of diversity of living world, we are going to see 4 chapters. Okay, so the first chapter is the living world, the chapter what we are going to today now. So this is what the chapter that we are doing now. Okay, and the second chapter, and even we are going to talk the overview of this chapter shortly after giving information of this first unit, right? Now the second chapter in this unit is about biological classification. See, we all know that even a small single microorganism like bacteria, that is also living organism. Okay. So from that to itself, even a large multicellular organism like a giraffe, elephant, human being, everybody is nothing but living organism only, right? So in this chapter, we are going to study how these living organisms are going to be grouped into different kingdoms. So overall 5 kingdoms we are going to see, right? So R.H. Whitaker has done this process of classification of organism under 5 kingdom. We will study about those things in this chapter. So total 5 kingdoms name you have to remember because it will also come in this chapter. That's why I'm telling you. So those 5 kingdoms are, the first kingdom is nothing but kingdom Monera. Here K stands for kingdom. So here in this kingdom, all bacteria that are going to be placed under this kingdom. Okay. And the second kingdom is kingdom Protista. So you know the difference between prokaryote as well as eukaryotic cell, right? So here in kingdom Monera, all prokaryotic cells are going to be placed here. Whereas in kingdom Protista, all eukaryotic but unicellular organisms that are going to be placed under this kingdom. Okay. So like that, all fungus which are so present in this world, that will be kept under this kingdom called kingdom fungi, So like that, whatever the plants that you are going to see, that is from the algae to angiosperms, flowering plants. So all these plants are put under a kingdom called kingdom Plantae. So like that, all animals, whether it is an invertebrate or vertebrate. Hope you have studied about invertebrates a little bit in your class 9th, I think. Okay, class 9th or class 8th, I don't know. Overall, in your lower classes, you have a bit knowledge about invertebrates. So, from invertebrates to vertebrates, that is like a human being, everybody, are kept under a kingdom called kingdom Animalia. That means all animals. Now, this chapter, biological classification, is going to give the information about these three kingdoms: kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista, kingdom Fungi. But it will introduce about this kingdom Plant and kingdom Animalia. But where we are going to study in detail about these two kingdoms, plant as well as animal kingdom, that is in a separate chapter. Okay, so that is what the third chapter is about, plant kingdom. So we'll study in detail about all the plants which are present in the nature. Like that, we'll study in detail about all the animals from invertebrates to vertebrates in the kingdom called animal kingdom chapter. So this is what about the first unit. Now, here I have mentioned particularly about this kingdom because you should have a knowledge about the word called kingdom. Because again, this word is going to be repeated in this chapter. That's why. So kingdom is a large category. So that in that category, we are going to put many organisms. Okay, I will tell you in detail about all those things. So hope you have understood about the first unit. Now, when you enter into the first chapter, that is the living world, what we are going to study here. So let us talk about that as an overview of this chapter, the living world. So we all know that already syllabus of both class 11th as well as class 12th has got revised. So after revising, so many topics from this textbook has got deleted. Okay, many topics has got deleted and few topics were even included also. But we don't know exactly which topic has got deleted, but the included topics in the NCERT has not given much information about that. But in all these videos of 32 chapter, we are going to talk about that also. Don't worry. So hope you are making notes along with me, right? Now, before revising and even after revising, few topics retained here, few topics has got deleted. Let's see what are those topics has got deleted and the retained topic also. Earlier, the living world chapter has been divided into 4 topics. So in this chapter, we were mainly giving importance about the living organism because the chapter itself is about living, no? So that's why NCERT was telling few property about what is living. If you are considering an organism as a living organism, first you should know why you are considering it as a living organism. Is there any property particularly for these organisms to say that you are living, you are not living? So about that, our NCERT was giving few information about this. But now this topic has got deleted. But still, the chances of asking question from this topic is bit high. So therefore, let us understand in brief, not in detail, in brief about what is living. Okay. And after that, in the second topic, we will talk about few definitions, few terms. For example, we need to learn about taxonomy. We need to learn about certain terms like systematics, identification, classification. So like that, there are so many definition-based questions can come from this chapter. That is from this topic. That's why if you don't understand the concept or the meaning of this term, it is very difficult to remember the definition, and even if the question comes in a twisted way, you are unable to answer. So we'll learn about this topic here. Okay, I will make you understand about the definition, meaning, everything. Right. And now in the third topic, we will talk about the taxonomic categories. Categories in the sense, nothing but a group. Say for example, how in your college, the students will be grouped as A section, B section, or sometimes in class 11th, class 12th, depending on the number of strength. Correct. So like that, how they are going to group like this? Because they know that class 11 student has to read this syllabus only. So that's why class 11 students will be get separated from class 12. Correct. So we made them a separate group. So in that way, within class 11th, once again, the boys are allowed to sit in separate group and girls in separate room. That is something apart. And even in some other colleges, in some other institution, the students will be categorized based on their marks also. That is mainly because it will become easy for the student and even for the lecturers or the teachers to teach them easily based on their knowledge. So like that, even the organisms also that will be grouped in a separate category. Okay, so that category can be very big like that of the kingdom, or it can be very, very small like a species. I will tell you what are the meaning of this category, everything. So about that, we are going to study here in this topic, taxonomic category. Okay, and at the last, there were certain aids, certain tools which helps the people to study about these organisms. That is nothing but taxonomic aids. Now, this topic also got deleted from our syllabus. Therefore, let us not study about this. So now, what are all the main two topics we are going to study here? One is systematic taxonomy, certain terms, and the next is taxonomic category. So this is what the overview. So for every chapter, if you don't have a mind map or an overview, it is bit create confusion in your mind. So the student who is having a mind map now, he can learn well than other student who is not having that mind map. Okay, so hope you are writing this also. Now let us enter into the chapter. Let us understand in brief about what is living. So what is living? If I just look at an organism, if I say this is an organism, it is not an organism, but simply I am telling, if this is an organism, if I say this is an organism, you will ask some question. Ma'am, how we consider this as a living organism? Is it show growth? That means any organism, if it is considered as a living, it has to grow, right? So we were also very small. Now we become big because we are showing growth. Correct. So the organism, does it possess the property of living? Does it possess the property of growth? Then you can consider it as a living. Okay. So there is a first property in a living organism is nothing but growth. Okay. So that we were like this. Now we become bigger. So how it happened? This is because we are showing growth. Correct. We are growing. Our height is increasing. Our cells are multiplying. Our mass is increasing. So that's why we can say that we are living organism and we are showing growth. But now NCERT is asking one question. It was asking, but now the syllabus has got deleted. That's what I said. No, I will tell in brief about that. Sometimes if the question comes from this, we should not get panic. That's why. So what was the question of NCERT? It was asking, okay, so you mean to say that if any organism or anything, if it show increase in mass and size, do you consider it as a growth? Okay. Now I will ask you a question. Have you seen a sand mound which is near to your house or near to your place? Yes, we have seen. We are going to say that yes, NCERT, we have seen that. Now, we observe the sand mound after 1 year. What happens? So, due to accumulation of sand particle, that is through air, through wind, okay. So, many sand particles come and accumulate like this. So that after 1 year or 2 years, if you observe this sand mound, it will increase its height. That means its size also got increases, and you just look at its mass. The mass also got increases. Okay. Now NCERT is asking, do you consider this sand mound or a mountain as a living organism or a living being? Then our answer is no, because it's a non-living. Correct. So therefore, we cannot consider an organism whether it's a living or non-living just by looking at one criteria like a growth. So that's why growth is not a defining property. Okay. So there are many properties, but mainly 4 properties were actually important to define a living or a non-living. Okay. So that's why let us talk only those 4 properties in brief. I'm not telling in detail, just in brief I'm telling. I told the reason also. Hope you are making notes along with me. I'm telling this again and again because making notes along with listening the class is very, very important, students. Because many students, what they do know, just they think that first let me listen the class and afterwards I can make the notes. By that time, you will forget many things. So that's why if you just pause the video here itself and if you just keep making notes along with me, it will benefit you a lot. Trust me, you can do this. Okay. So this is the first property. Now the second property, NCERT says, if you are saying that organism is a living organism, then it should possess the property of reproduction. Reproduction. So of course, every organism, it has to reproduce to increase its progeny. Then only we can say, yes, this is a living organism. But once again, NCERT is asking a question. Yes, is that a matter? Okay. I will give one example in front of you. This is the mule. Do you know how mule comes? The mule is the product. It's a combination of crossing between a donkey as well as a horse. Okay. If you take a horse and a donkey, if you cross both together, a progeny will be obtained. That is called mule. But mule is not going to give birth to another mule. If you take two mule, are you getting my point? If you get two mule and if you just cross these two mule, you won't get any progeny of the mule because it is infertile. Infertile. So like that, you are having a knowledge about the honeybees, right? In honeybees, there are 3 categories. So what are those? In honeybee, we know that the three category, like one is drone. Drone is considered as a king. And another one is queen bee. Obviously, the name itself is telling it is a queen. And then another one is worker bee. So majority of the work is done by worker bees only. But unfortunately, these worker bees are sterile. They do not reproduce. Okay. And one more example we can take. There are so many infertile couples are there. They are unable to give birth to the children. Then, just because of having a criteria called reproduction, do you consider this mule, this worker bee, this infertile couple, all are non-living? No, we cannot consider that. Then how can you define a living organism just by reproduction character or by a property? So therefore NCERT says, look at here, my dear children, reproduction, it is also not a defining property. Okay. Then on which property we can say whether it is a living or non-living? It should be possessed by all organisms, either from unicellular to multicellular, fertile to infertile. Everything should possess that property. Then we can consider it is a living. So, like such property, we are going to see 2 in living beings. What are those? So, 2 characters over. Then the third property, nothing but metabolism. You take any organism, you take a small microorganism like bacteria, amoeba, anything you can take. And even you can take a multicellular organism, right? So in all these organisms, of course, the metabolism property must be there. What is metabolism? You take any cell. In this cell, the chemical reaction must take place. Okay. So say for example, a chemical called A, it has to split into B and C. Or imagine there are 2 chemicals D and E. It has to combine together and form F. So like that, certain reaction should make the compounds to get divided. Certain reaction make the compounds to get combined. For example, in our body, we eat proteins, we eat carbohydrate. They are going to metabolize, no? They are going to break into small pieces. That is digestion. So like that, there are so many particles that make us to build our tissue inside our body. So it is not only the case of human being. Even you take amoeba, bacteria, and every organism, these metabolic reactions or chemical reaction must take place, irrespective of whether it is an infertile couple or a fertile microorganism, multicellular, everything, this metabolism property must be present. Therefore, based on this character, I can say that yes, this organism is a living thing. Okay. So therefore, metabolism, it is a defining property. So like that, one more last property NCERT says about consciousness. Consciousness, in a simple language, we can also say that response to stimulus. Response to stimulus. Every organism do respond, no, to the stimulus. Let me take an example of amoeba. Imagine there is an amoeba like this here. So we think that amoeba do not show any response to the stimulus because we people do respond to the stimulus. If anybody come and pinch, of course we are going to give him a slap, or we are going to run very fast if any dog chases. That means we do respond for the stimulus. We think that only multicellular organism has this property, but respond is not just running or giving a slap or anything. Okay, respond means the body how is going to react to the surrounding. For example, look at here. If any food particle is present, imagine this is a food particle. How come this amoeba come to know that here is the food? How it has to capture? There must be some response. That means there must be some stimulus, no? It is going to receive that stimulus. So because of that, it could able to change its shape like this. It will change its shape so that it will capture the food. It will engulf the food. So therefore, the amoeba which were earlier like this, now its shape become like this because it has going to engulf the food. So that's why amoeba keep changing its shape. Okay, it's not only in the case of amoeba. Even you take bacteria, they do respond to the external environment. Okay, if any temperature get varies, they form an endospore to protect themselves. That means to the stimulus. Okay, they show response in different way. And even plants also do respond. If you just touch the touch-me-not plant, they are going to close their leaves. Okay, apart from Mimosa pudica, that is a scientific name of touch-me-not plant. Apart from that, if you take a normal plant, you just keep it in a dark room. Just make a small hole and just allow a light to pass into that. You have done all these experiments in your lower classes. What happened? What was happened in that period? So the plant used to bend to that direction where light was coming. Correct? Why? Because the light is the stimulus. The bending property of the plant is the response. Okay, so the response to stimulus is a property exhibited by all living organisms. Right? Whether it is a unicellular or multicellular, fertile, infertile, everybody has this property. Then can I consider it as a defining property? Of course, yes. Of course, yes. Therefore, consciousness, it is a defining property. Okay, so that's it. So this much knowledge if you have, this is more than enough for your NEET exam. Okay, so what we have talked till now about the living, about the question of asking what is living, we talked about 4 properties. I'm just summarizing all these 4. 1, we talked about the growth. 2nd, we talked about the reproduction. So the 3rd and 4th were metabolism and consciousness. Out of these 4, these 2 are non-defining property. These 2 are defining property. Write a note, make a note of all these things. That's it. So the first topic of this chapter. What was the first topic? What is living? We have completed. Correct. Actually, it was deleted, but little bit we have understood. Now, the main topic we are entering into taxonomy and systematics. So, once again, before entering to that topic, NCERT is giving few information about our biodiversity. Diversity in the living world. So, it is asking a simple question. Do you know, dear student, how many organisms are present in your surrounding? So, diversity means what? Biodiversity means what? First of all, bio means living. Diversity means wide variety. When you just look at your surrounding, you cannot see all organisms are look alike. Just take a human being example. We won't look alike. We won't look same. Correct? Why? Because there is a changes in our genes. So that make us to look different. So like that, if you just take a species like ant. So if you consider ant is one species. So within this species of ant, if you just consider ant, okay, wide variety of species we are going to see, like a black ant, red ant, big black sized ant, big red sized ant. So like that, within ant category, we are going to see 28,000 species of ant. Are you getting? So, like that, if I just keep counting the number of species which are so present in our surrounding, we will get exhausted, we become saturated, but we can't count because that much wide variety of organisms are there. But still, so many ecologists, they put a lot of effort in order to find out how many organisms are there, how many species are there. Then finally, one ecologist, his name is Robert May. So you are going to study about this fellow, about biodiversity in class 12th, because there is a separate chapter called biodiversity. Again, you are going to study about this data in that chapter. He said, see, there are 7 million species are there. Total 7 million species of plants and animals. If you just keep count, you can get in this globe, that is in the biosphere. This much you can see. But do you know how much we have discovered in that? We have discovered only how much? 1.7 to 1.8 million species we have discovered. So once again, this could be a NEET question. How many species we have discovered? That means, what is this data is telling us? If you just keep searching, if you keep exploring the world, again you are going to get more number of species, right? Because according to his estimation, he gave 7 million species are there, but we have discovered only 1% in that. Okay? I mean, very less percent in that. 1.7 to 1.8 million species. So that is a bit information. Now the question is, suppose if I get a new organism, it has not been named anything. It has not been discovered till now, but now I have discovered. How can I give a name to this? How can I identify this is the organism? Okay, so this is what comes under this category. So how can I name this? For that, I need to go for a separate branch, a separate scientist. So that is what we are going to learn here about taxonomy and systematics. Okay, so let's imagine. First, let us talk about this taxonomy first. We are a science student, right? Let's imagine you are being a science student, you are just walking in a forest and you saw a unique creature. Okay, it was something looking like a dinosaurus. It is not actually dinosaurs, it is something looking like a dinosaur. Okay, now you got curiosity because you are a science student, no? You want to know about that organism. So that's why somehow you plan to manage that organism to bring it to a person who is actually good enough in identifying that organism. Okay, so now you brought this organism to this fellow. Imagine this is the person, he is standing. Okay, you brought that organism near to this fellow, right? So now you are asking, sir, can you please tell me which organism it is? So it is something looking like a dinosaur. See, let me write. It is not actually looking like a dinosaur, but it's a unique creature, no? Just make understand. Okay. So now you took this organism, you just brought near to this fellow. Now you start observing, because he won't say simply in a rough idea or in a abrupt way so that yes, this is dinosaur only. Yes, you can consider it as a dinosaur. No, he should not tell like that. There is a specific way of identifying the organism. So by following those instructions, by following those specific manner, he has to identify this organism what it is. Okay. So such a scientist who is able to identify a new organism, no, we call him as a taxonomist. So he is one of the scientists. To gain this profession, to get into this profession, he has to work hard. It is not so easy. So that I won't got any profession so that I will become a taxonomist. No, it is not like that. Once again, you have to work hard to become taxonomist also. Okay. Now let us come to the point. Now he started thinking, which organism it is? So I said, no, he has to follow some procedure. For that, he will follow 4 steps. What are those? First, he will take a book, pen and paper. He start identifying all the characters which are so present on this organism. So that he start making a list. He said, okay, he will take a book and pen. He started writing like this. What are the characters he'll write? He first look at this organism. Oh, it is very long. Okay, he'll write down in his book. It is very long. It's a very huge. Okay, and second point is just look at here. So it is not having any green color. It is not preparing its own food. Then obviously it is not a plant. It is an animal. Okay, first he will write it is an animal. Then he will just look at the body structure. And he will just look at, oh, it is having a tail. Fine, it is having a tail. Oh, it is having 4 limbs. Okay, it is having 4 limbs. And it is just, look at the skin. Oh, his skin is very dry. Okay, dry skin. And his teeth are very, very sharp. Very sharp teeth. Okay. So, he will write all the characters. He will list all the characters. So, that is the first step he is going to do. Okay. So, what is the first step? That is characterization. Characterization. In that characterization, he is going to list all the characters. Okay, now, based on this character, he is going to identify that whether it is an animal, or it is a plant, or it is any other bacteria, or is there fungus. So, like that, he started identifying based on this character. Okay, because to identify it, he has to describe it properly, no? So, in identification, that is the second step of this taxonomist is going to do, that is identification. He is going to describe this organism correctly. He is going to write everything. So, this is not having a green color, it is not a plant, it is not a unicellular, it is not a bacteria. So, it is not even a fungus. Okay, so he is going to identify in a proper way. That is the second step called identification. What is identification? Describing an organism correctly. Correct description of an organism. So you have to write down these steps in this order itself. Okay, it is very important. And later, after identification, now he came to know that yes, now I got. It belongs to the kingdom Animalia. Okay, he calls you and he'll tell, bro, look at here. It is not a plant. It is animal. So it belongs to the kingdom Animalia. Then he says, look at here. This organism is having backbone like this. Okay, vertebral column is there. A strong, hard structure is present in an embryonic condition. So it belongs to the phylum called Chordata. So you are going to study about all these things in animal kingdom again. Even if you are not understanding these terms, nothing to worry. Chordata means it's a rod-like structure. Okay. So even in our body also, when we were in an embryonic condition, we had a rod-like structure. So that rod-like structure been replaced by vertebral column. Okay. So that's why we also belong to the group of Chordata. So now this taxonomist is having all these ideas. No? So he said, come here, man. So this is actually Chordata. Got it? So that is a phylum. So when you just make a list of the phylum, you know that Porifera, Aschelminthus, Platyhelminthes, Annelida, Arthropoda. You know about all these names, right? In your lower classes itself, we have read. So, like that, Chordata is also a phylum. So, it belongs to that. Okay. Now, just look at here. It is having a dry skin. It is having a tail. It is having a limbs. It is having sharp teeth. That means, it belongs to a class called Reptilia. Reptilia. So, what do you understand from this? He got some idea, right? After identification. So, based on that identification, based on that character, he is placing this organism in the right category, in the right place. Correct? So, that property is the third property called classification. Okay? So, this is the third property called classification. Classification means what? How we can describe? Putting an organism into a right category. Putting or placing in a right category or in a right taxa. Right taxa. Taxa or taxon means what? This Animalia is a taxon. It is one category. Okay. And like that, when you come to a Chordata, Chordata is one taxon. Category itself is a taxon. Okay. So if I say it is an invertebrate, if I say this is having a round shaped body, it is a worm-like, I can say that it belongs to a taxon called Annelida. Understood? So like that, each category is representing a taxon. So he is going to place them in a right taxon because he had the knowledge about that. And finally, he will decide, okay, I done everything and now I need to give a name to this organism. Correct? So I need to give a scientific name so that if anybody comes in any part of the world, either he is from a USA or from the China, or Japan or from India, wherever, he should understand the name if I just tell. Okay, it should not have a local name. Say for example, if I observe an organism, there is a cat. Okay. So in a local language, the people can call by their local language itself, right? So in Kannada, we call it as a Bekku. In Hindi, we call it as a Billi. In Tamil, we call it as a Pune. In Telugu, we call it as a Pilli. That means in local language, we called by different names. But a scientist, when he come to study about that organism, if I just call, that is Billi, can you study this? He will not understand. Oh, that is Pilli, can you understand? That is Pune, can you understand? They won't understand. We have to give a scientific name. So that scientific name we have to give, that process we call it as what? Nomenclature. So this is what the work of taxonomist. So that branch itself, we call it as what? Taxonomy. Now understood what is taxonomy? Taxonomy is a process. Taxonomy is a process of identification of an organism through characterization, identification, classification and nomenclature. Very simple. I repeat once again, taxonomy is a procedure or it is a principle of identifying an organism through characterization, identification, classification and nomenclature. In some cases, the characterization property will not give. Okay. So identification itself will be considered together as characterization and identification. Together will be considered as one. So that in that place itself, we are going to list the character and we are going to identify the organism. But in general, we can write taxonomy is a branch where we are going to identify, classify and name the organism. Unknown organism. That branch itself is taxonomy. And the person who is doing that process is a taxonomist. Hope very clear. So these are the 4 basic steps of taxonomy. So the order can be given in your example, in your NEET exam. You should be aware about this. Hope you are making all these notes, right? Look at here, the definition. The branch of science dealing with the principles and procedures of characterization, identification, classification and nomenclature of an organism. That is nothing but taxonomy. So these are the basic of taxonomy. These are basics of taxonomy means what? This characterization is a basic. Identification is the second step. Classification, third. Nomenclature is the fourth step. So the word taxonomy was first coined by a scientist called Cantor. Okay. So now we have a clear idea about taxonomy. Then what is systematics? What is systematics? See, I will give an example so that you can understand. Do you know that we are now, how we are seeing, this is because of evolution. Earlier we were like a monkey. Okay. So that's why monkey to man, there is a proverb itself. So it is not only a case of man. Even you take any organism, they all becoming the present organism only because of evolution. Earlier, the amphibians, what you are saying, the frog-like animals, these amphibians, earlier, they were like a fish. So you will study about all these things in detail in evolution chapter. So from fish, the amphibians evolved, right? And there are few, actually means, there are few fish, they could able to come out of the water. They were surviving for a few hours on the land. Again, they were going back to the water. So out of 100 fish, the 10 fishes having this unique property. So now the changes occurred in those 10 fishes, they become amphibians. So like that evolutionary theory says, that you will study in detail. It is an interesting, beautiful chapter in class 12. You are going to read that. Okay. Now, from amphibians, the reptiles evolved. And from reptiles, few reptiles, they have a property of becoming a aves. That means bird. They evolved into aves. And few reptiles, they had a property of converting into mammals. So they become mammals. And few reptiles, they were as it is, they are present day reptiles only. That means if you just look at these evolution pattern, fish to become amphibians, from amphibians become reptiles, from reptiles become aves and mammals. That means these are different taxon. Amphibian is one taxon, it is one category. Okay. Fish is one taxon, it is one category where only aquatic animals present. Reptile, it is one category. Okay. So like that, if I am talking about any organism, I am going to see its evolutionary relationship. Are you getting my point? So if I am talking about any bird, I am going to talk about its evolutionary relationship. How it was earlier. Finally, I came to know that, oh, it was like a reptile. So, the bird is evolved from the reptile. I'm going to study its evolutionary basis. No. So, that the branch itself, we call it as what? Systematics. In your fourth chapter, Animal Kingdom, we are going to study about an organism called Ascidia. Ascidia. So, we say that whenever we are considering an organism as a chordata, so that organism should have a notochord, a solid rod-like structure. It should be present. But this Ascidia is not having that solid rod-like structure. This Ascidia is something like this. Something like this. Okay. So this is an adult organism. When you just keep examining whether it is having a solid rod-like structure, it is not showing any solid rod. But still, how did you keep them in a chordata group? Then, if I observed its larva stage, imagine this is the larva. Larva means a small initial condition soon after the birth. There it was having a solid rod-like structure. This notochord was present here. Okay? And even if you just look at the organism like a human being. So in our body also, this is a human baby, embryo. Let's understand. So when we were in an embryonic condition, we too had a solid rod-like structure. That is a notochord. Then it indicates that yes, we all have a common ancestor. We all originated from the chordata group itself. So it is an evolutionary relationship. By looking at certain properties, certain characters, we can read how the evolution has taking place. So that branch itself, we call it as a systematics. That's it. Okay. So what the definition I can give? The branch of science dealing with establishing evolutionary relationship between the taxa, between the category we are seeing the evolutionary relationship. Understood? So these are the main two terms you need to remember. Okay. Now, I said here in the 4 basics of classification, of taxonomy, I said nomenclature is the last one, naming a scientific organism. Now the question is, how we are going to name an organism? See, here you saw this dinosaur, no? How we are going to keep this as a dinosaur? Is there any rule? Is there any code? Is there any particular property? Yes, it is there. It is there. Let us learn about that nomenclature process. Okay? So nomenclature is not done abruptly. So, your dinosaur, your cat, your dog. No, we should not keep like that. There is no rule like that to keep the names. There is a particular specific way of keeping the names. Okay. So as I said, if any scientist from any part of the world, if he come to study that organism, he should understand just by looking at the scientific name. Okay. So such a scientific name, codes will be present in different branches. For example, if I have to keep a name to this organism, imagine this is a plant. Yeah, unknown plant I got. Now, if I want to keep a name to this, then I have to see the code present in a branch. So, what is that code? Where that code is present? It is present as ICBN. ICBN is International Code for Botanical Nomenclature. If I have to keep name for any plants, I have to see the code present in this. What are all the criteria present in this ICBN? I have to follow it. Then I can keep a name to this plant. So like that, if I want to keep name for any animal, let me write. I don't know which animal, even I too don't know, because it's a unique animal, no? Let me consider something X. Okay. Now, if I have to keep the name, I have to see the code present in ICZN. So ICZN means International Code for Zoological Nomenclature, where it is having certain rules, certain codes, which denotes, oh, these are the things you have to follow to keep a name to this organism, to keep a name to this animal. Okay. So what is the abbreviation? And even for virus also, International Code for Viral Nomenclature, ICVN, International Code for Bacterial Nomenclature, ICBACN. So like that, different codes will be available to name different organisms, different category organisms. Okay. So we need to follow that. But these two abbreviations are given in your NCERT. It is very important for your NEET point of view. So as I am doing this video for especially NEET only, for particularly competitive exams only, whatever the points that I'm going to mention here on the board, it is very, very important. Remember. Okay. So let me write that ICZN also, ICVN also, the abbreviation. Okay, make a note of all these abbreviations. It's important. Especially these two are very, very important because it's given in our MCQs. Now, as I said, there are certain rules we need to follow. So particularly whether you are keeping a name for plant or for animal, okay, or even for a bacteria, you have to follow certain universal rules. So that universal rules is actually telling you have to keep an organism name in 2 words. Are you getting my point? If you want to keep a name to this organism, so that name should be in 2 words. 2 words. Okay? So that 2 words, it has to follow certain universal rules. So what are those universal rules? Let us see. Let us see that. Universal rule of binomial nomenclature. So first of all, binomial nomenclature means the name which is having 2 words. Okay. Let us understand these universal rule with an example of mango. Okay. So let's consider, here is a mango. I kept this mango name, that is a scientific name of this mango as Mangifera indica. Mangifera indica. So if any biologist come from any part of the world, if I say him that this is Mangifera indica, just look at here. Oh, he will understand that we are talking about mango. Whether he is from any part of the country, but he will understand because it is a scientific name. So while keeping this scientific name, the first thing I should know that it's a Latin in origin. Okay, so that is the first point. So these are Latin name. It's a Latin name. And whenever I wrote this name, I should be italicized. It should be written in italics. Okay, but in handwriting, I can't write in a slant way as if we are going to see in a computer language. We can't write it in an italics way. So how you can do? If you are writing in your handwritten, then you have to follow of underlining this word. Okay, so it indicates that whenever you are writing a scientific name, you have to underline it separately. Why separately? Because the one word in this binomial nomenclature, bi means 2, nomial means name. 2 names. In these 2 names, one word of the name represent the genus. The second word represent the species. Okay, so that is the second property. One is genus and another one is species. Species are specific epithet, you can write it. Now, if you just observe here carefully, you can understand here while begin to write the genus name, I have used the capital letter. Okay, so therefore, the first letter of the genus is always a capital letter. So like that, if you observe here in the species, the first letter of the species is always begin with small letter. Okay, and the third property already I said, it should be underlined separately. So these are the rules, you need to follow it. Okay, and sometimes actually the binomial nomenclature system introduced by a scientist called Carolus Linnaeus. Carolus Linnaeus. So that's why in some cases what happened now, the scientist name also comes at the end. For example, if I write Mangifera indica Linn. So here Linn indicates what? The scientist who have discovered its name. Linnaeus. Okay. So this Carolus Linnaeus even wrote a book called Systema Naturae. So in that book, he has introduced the names of so many animals as well as the plants. So that book published and it becomes so popular. So these are few important points you have to remember. Okay. So here in NCERT, few lines or few points which are so mentioned. It's very, very important. Based on that line itself, the question can be directly picked. Okay. See, the system of providing name with the 2 components. That's why it is called binomial nomenclature. So who given it? Carolus Linnaeus, again important for NEET, and he published a famous book called Systema Naturae. All are important. All are important. So what are all the points given in NCERT? See, what I have explained just now, the same points. Biological names are generally in Latin, correct, and written in italics. They are Latinized, they are derived from Latin, irrespective of their origin, whichever it is, but it should be Latinized. There is the first point. Second point says, the first word in biological name represents the genus. Correct. If I say the lion name, so if I have to keep the scientific name for this lion, I can call it as Panthera leo. Panthera leo. Okay, now I will underline it separately. Okay, because I cannot write in italics, no, that's why I'm underlining it separately. And here the first name is indicating the genus and the second one it is talking about the species. Very simple. While the second component denotes the specific epithet. Specific epithet or species both are seen. Both the words in the biological name in the sense scientific name, are handwritten, are separately underlined, are printed in italics to indicate their Latin origin, because it indicates that they are Latin in origin. And the fourth point is, the first word denoting the genus starts with a capital letter, and while the specific epithet means species name, starts with a small letter. It can be illustrated in the sense, we can demonstrate here, we can refer here just by looking at this example, Mangifera indica. Now, here I have typed it, no, that's why I have mentioned it in an italics font. But if I have to write it in my handwriting, in a handwritten way, it should be underlined. Even after mention it in an italics text, no need to underline. Either you have to mention it in an italics form or underline it. That's it. So, hope I'm very clear about this. Okay. And one more nomenclature system is there. We call it as a trinomial nomenclature system. But it is not actually given in our NCERT. Nothing to worry. But you just know few names. Little bit information if you have it. That is more than enough. Okay. Because it's not given in NCERT. That's why. Imagine human being. It's a common name. Correct? Human being. Now, if I have to keep a scientific name to a human being. Okay. Biological name or scientific name. How I can call? I can call as Homo sapien. Everybody know it. Correct. So, it's a biological name. I need to underline it separately because it is a genus. It is a species. So, here it has begun with capital letter. Here it is beginning with small letter. Correct. Now, in the trinomial nomenclature system, what is the scientific name of human being, you know? Homo sapien. Sapien. Homo sapien sapien. So here, Homo indicates genus. Sapien indicates species. And another sapien indicates subspecies. Subspecies. This is one example of trinomial nomenclature. Because here, 3 words are there in a name. So like that, here one more example I can take for gorilla. Gorilla scientific name is very, very easy. Gorilla. You are gorilla. Again, you are gorilla. So, this is what the scientific name. Biological name. Here it is a genus. Here it is a species. Here it is subspecies. Okay. So, now, in this word of gorilla, scientific name of gorilla, both genus and species are common, no? Genus and species. Both genus and species, they have a common name called gorilla. Then such words or such names are called tautonyms. Tautonyms. So tautonyms are applicable only to animals, not in plants. If you take a trinomial nomenclature system in plants or even binomial only in plants, you won't see the tautonyms. Genus, species always be separate. They will be pronounced separate. They will be having a separate name. But only in case of animals, few cases, we can see both genus and species are same. Okay. So, we call them as tautonyms. Let me write that also. Tautonyms are. Okay. Tautonyms are applicable only to animals, not to plants. So, that's it. So, that is what about taxonomic, few terms, definitions, their importance, everything. Now, the second part of the chapter also over. Okay, we never come to know how fast it got finished because you are also listening so interestingly and I am also doing it with a lot of interest. Now, we are in the third part, that is in the last part of this chapter about taxonomic categories. It is very simple. Only if you understand the names, certain scientific names are given, certain terms are given. If you understand that, this becomes too easy. Okay, trust me, how easily you will learn. So, first of all, let us understand what do you mean by taxonomic categories. I said no, there are so many groups. It can be large, it can be small, but that group we call it as a taxon. Correct? Let me write. See, for example, okay, see here. There are few categories we have named into different words. Okay, for example, kingdom is a category. Here it's a very big category where large number of organisms comes and placed here in a kingdom, like Monera kingdom, Plantae kingdom, Animalia kingdom, like that. Okay, so there is one more category, but it is less than that of the kingdom. We call it as a phylum. Phylum is a category. Species is a category. Okay, then genus is a category. Order is a category. Class is a category. Division is a category. So like that, we have given a different name for these categories. So this category itself, we call it as what? A taxon. Taxon. If I say an organism which belongs to the kingdom called Animalia, Animalia is a taxon. Listen to me carefully, you will understand easily. Within 5 minutes, you will understand everything. Animalia is a taxon. So, it's a category, a taxon. Suppose if I say there is a plant, so that plant belongs to the kingdom called Plantae, then Plantae itself is a taxon. Itself is a taxon. Okay, like that if I come to a class. So within the class, I'll say that these are the organisms which belongs to a group called mammals or Mammalia. So Mammalia is a class. Then it is one taxon. Okay. Or else I say that these are the organisms which belongs to a group called reptiles. So Reptilia is a class. So it is also one of the taxon. Or else I say, okay, these are the animals, aquatic animals, they are present in the water, they are looking like a fish, they are Pisces. So the Pisces itself is a class. So it is also a taxon. Are you getting my point? Either the taxon can be a very small, like that of the species. For example, I say mango is a species. Mango is one species. I can't say mango and brinjal both are same. I can't say brinjal and potato both are same. Because potato belongs to a different group. Potato looks different, potato tastes different, potato's morphological structure, biological structure, everything is different. But it is a separate species. Brinjal is a separate species, mango is a separate species. So when they interbreed, they could give rise to a fertile offspring. We call it as what? Species. So a taxon can be as small as a species, or it can be as big as a kingdom where large number of organisms can be placed there. For example, see, why I am considering species as a very small unit? Because if I say mango, mango is the only species. Okay, I cannot say both mango as well as both brinjal or mango brinjal or brinjal and potato should come together in one species. No, I shouldn't say like that. But if I consider all three together and I can put in a kingdom called Plantae. So that's why Plantae is a very big kingdom, or the kingdom itself is a very big taxon. Now, these taxon, different taxon, what I am telling you, if these taxon arranged in their order, either in a ascending order or in a descending order, so that order-wise arrangement, what it is there, no, we call it as a hierarchy. In a very simple word, I can say, when you entered into a school, first you are going to do your class first. Okay, so first standard. After that, you will step on to second standard, third standard, fourth standard. So like that, you are reading, you are doing your education in order wise. That we call it as a hierarchy. Okay, either in ascending order, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, like that, or in a descending order, I can say, oh, you have finished your 10th. Before that, you have finished your 9th. Then, before that, you have finished your 8th, 7th, 6th, like that, either in a descending order or in a ascending order. Are you getting my point? So that arrangement is there, no? We call it as a hierarchy. Very simple. Now, let us arrange these taxon in these hierarchy. Okay? See. Okay, let me arrange here itself. So let me consider a small trick. Usually I used to remember in this way. I don't know, you can put any trick or you can opt any trick according to your convenience. Suppose if you get any trick, let me know also in your comment box, so that at least let it helps to other students also. Okay, usually how I used to remember that, I can remember kingdom because kingdom is a very large category which comes first. And after kingdom, I know I can remember phylum. Okay. And after that, from the below, if I take, I can remember species. and above the species comes genus. Total there are 7 taxon are there. How many? Total there are 7 taxa. So this taxa out of 7, these 4 easily we can remember. Only the 3 taxa which comes in between, no, that is make us to get confused. Okay, so how usually I remember cough, not cough, C-O-F cough. Okay, I remember like this. C-O-F cough. Okay, so C stands for class, O stands for order, F stands for family. Okay, like this I used to remember. And rest of the thing, as I said, no, we can remember like this. Now, if I just move in this order, that is from this species, it is nothing but we call it as an ascending order. After species comes genus, after genus comes family, after family comes order, then class, then phylum, then kingdom. So kingdom is the largest taxon. So usually the phylum is refers to animals. Remember, this is also neat line. Phylum is a taxon which usually refers to animals. If you place any animal in a particular phylum, of course we are considering this taxon. But if I have to place a plant after kingdom, I cannot consider as a phylum. I should mention as a division. So division is a taxon which is considered only for the plants. Remember, these are important. Okay. Now, if I ask you to mention in a descending order, how you are going to mention? Of course, like this: kingdom, afterwards phylum, then class, order, family, genus, species. So species is the lowest caste. So this is ascending. And this side is a descending. So let us understand the meaning of this taxon. Why I should consider species as the smallest group, or kingdom as the biggest group, or as we move up, so the similarity will become decreases. As we move down, the similarity become increases. That is also important. That is also important. Mention this line. See, these are important lines. Whatever the lines that I am writing on the board or I am telling, these are important, very important. Okay. So now let us understand the meaning of these 2 lines. Why it has to increase, why it has to decrease as we move up, or why it has to increase as we move down. Okay. So let us begin with the smallest taxon, that is species. Yes. So first let us understand the main basic point regarding species. Species is the term first given by John Ray, a scientist called John Ray, but the biological concept of species was given by Ernest Mayr. It is important. So about Ernest Mayr, even given in our NCERT textbook, that is in the first page of the chapter itself. Okay, so every chapter at its first page itself, that means beginning of the chapter itself, we are going to see few information regarding scientists. So that part also very important. There in this chapter, about Ernest Mayr, information is given. He is considered as 20th century Darwin. Okay, Darwin of 20th century. Let me write here, is considered as. Okay, so what according to him, biological concept of species means? It means the group of closely related organisms which can interbreed in nature and can produce fertile offspring. For example, see, let me consider a lion. Okay, so if I consider a lion group, a population of lion. Okay, so many lion are there in this population. Now these lion can interbreed among themselves between male and female. So this lion can interbreed with this lioness. Okay, the mating can occur between them, so that when they give birth to an organism, of course that is also lion only. So that's why all look similar. When you just look at lion, all lions are having the same characters, just like human being. So human being is one species, because when we give birth to a young one, they look like human being only, not like some other organism like a gorilla, chimpanzee. Okay, so like that, if I take an example of a chimpanzee, when they interbreed, they also give rise to chimpanzees only. Like that, dog, pig, any organism you take, when they interbreed, when they give birth, they looks like their parents itself. Understood? So such a group of animal, we call them as what? One species. One species. So where, if you just look at the characters within the species, they all look similar. Maybe the mild differences within human being, Chinese look different, Indians look different, Americans look little different, but we are human beings only, no, finally. So, a more similarities that we can able to see in species. Okay, look at here in this image. If I come to a species like a mango, so what is the scientific name? Mangifera. I'm just underlining here, but need not to underline because it is in italics. Mangifera indica. Here, Mangifera represents the genus, whereas indica represents the species. But while referring the mango, I cannot say indica. No, I shouldn't say like that. I should mention it as Mangifera indica only for expressing the scientific name of mango, because just now we read the rules of scientific name, I mean binomial nomenclature. Now, mango is one species. Like that, as I take the example of a potato, see, all potato comes under a group called what? A Solanum tuberosum. Solanum tuberosum, it is one species. Like that, Panthera leo, it is the scientific name of lion. So, all lion belongs to one species because when they mate each other, give rise to the same kind. Like that, even human being, Homo sapien, so they all belong to the same species, where we can find more similarities. But as we move up in the hierarchy, what we have learned? From species, we entered into the next level called genus, where the similarities become quite lesser. Because within the genus, I am going to see different species. For example, see, only genus 1, Panthera. Let me take the name of the genus Panthera. But in this genus of Panthera itself, I can see Panthera leo, that is a lion. Or even I can call Panthera tigris. It is a name given for tiger. Okay, but they belong to the same genus. Look at this example. Look at this example. Comparison of group related species, comprises the group of related species which has more common in comparison to species of other genera. Other genera means I can't take the genus of domestic cat. See, Felis is the genus. So in this genus, we can see all domestic cat, normal cat. These are also cat family only, but these are wild cat. Wild cat. So now, if I compare the domestic cat like a normal cat as well as the tiger, of course there are differences, right? But Panthera is a genus. So in this Panthera genus, you can see the Panthera leo, Panthera tigris is a tiger, pardus, that is a leopard. When you just look, all of a sudden, almost all, they have a same character. Almost all, I'm not telling all are same. Because lion is a different species. Therefore, lion is not look like that of the tiger. But their behavior, their hunting way, their nature, their habitat, almost all same. So that's why they all comes under a genus. There is a same genus called Panthera here. So like that you can list even in the case of plants also. Look at here. In the plants, Solanum is a genus. Solanum. So in that genus itself, you can see the potato as well as the brinjal, because both have similar properties. Usually we can't see, easily we can't remember the plant as we can remember the animals. Okay, so that's why better to understand the concept through animal example. But you need to remember about the plants also, because it will be given in your NCERT. It will be asked in your NEET exam as it is given in your NCERT. Okay. So, genus part is over. Now, as we move up, species, that is in a higher hierarchy, we moved into genus. As you move further from genus, it comes to what? Family. Family, right? So now in the family, we include different genus. Okay. So let me take an example. Example of a cat only. So I said Panthera is a family. Panthera is a genus. Like that, even Felis is also a genus. But both can be comes under a same family. Because similarity is quite less. I can't say tiger, cat, both are same. But in a shadow, if you just look at the cat, it almost resembles like a tiger, because its walking style, its face structure, it almost looks same. Okay, similarities are there. So that's why we have put under the same family, that is a cat family. But I can't consider a dog into cat family. Because dog look different, dog walking style different, dog is something different compared to the cat. Okay, so look at here. A family called Felidae. So in this family, I can put both Panthera as well as the Felis, because here the wild cat comes, here the domestic cat comes. Okay, so if I take a dog family, the dog family will be considered as the Canidae. Don't think that as it is starting from C, therefore it is a cat family. No, it is a dog family. Cat family is Felidae, remember. Okay, I cannot put into the same. Okay, but in dog family, I can put all wild dogs, all domestic dogs, okay, like a fox, normal dog, everything I can put into the family called Canidae because they look different. Hope you are understanding. Okay, so as we move up, large number of organisms comes and included in the taxon. Now we can understand, but their similarities becoming lesser. Okay, now let me take an example. As we move up, especially in the plant also, again, if I consider the family, here Solanum is a family. Solanum, just now we have not about the brinjal as well as the potato tuber, potato. So both belong to the same family, same genus, but it comes under the family called Solanaceae. Like that, Datura, it is a separate genus, but comes under the family Solanaceae. Petunia, different genus, comes under the family Solanaceae. Okay, so remember, you shouldn't forget Solanaceae family because you have to study again about this family in 5th chapter, Morphology of Flowering Plants. Okay, there you have to study in detail about this. And even about Datura also, this Datura will follow you even in class 12 because there is a chapter called Human Health and Disease. There at the end of the chapter, we are going to study about few drugs. Drug is not your paracetamol or something, cold tablets. So the drug is nothing but it is a mood altering drugs. So those mood swinging drugs can be prepared from certain plants. Okay. So one such plant is Datura. So from that a drug will be prepared that will alter the mood. So what are those things that we'll study in class 12? But remember, okay. Now, here in the case of the plants, the families are characterized on the basis of both vegetative and reproductive features of plant species. Important line. So it's a direct NCERT line. That's why I have put as it is. Okay. So now, similar genus comes under family. Now, similar families. If there are so similar families, where we have to put? Into a same order. Okay. So species, genus, family. Now it has to move into the order. Let us take the example of animal only. See, Felidae is a family. It's a cat family. Canidae is a family. Dog family. See, look at this diagram. Here almost all the dog, your fox, hyena, everything has come under here in this family called Canidae. Whereas here in cat family, your lion, tiger, cheetah, leopard, everything has come under this family. Normal cat, that is cat family. But both family are different, Canidae and Felidae. But if you just look at their habitat, majority are lives in where? In forest. Okay, fine. Some are domestic also, I said. But look at their eating habitat. They depend on the flesh of other animals. Correct? So, some dog, of course, the dog are going to eat the vegetarian also, but they depend on the flesh, meat of other animals. Their canines will be somewhat sharper. So, therefore, we have kept under an order called carnivora. Carnivora, as they have a carnivorous animal, large canines they have. Okay, but similarities as we move up from family to order, again the similarities, that means closeness, are same characters, start decreases, right? So that's why assemblage of families with a few similar characters. Now, as we move up from order, then which come? Species, genus, family, order, then class. Cough. Correct. And here, okay. This also. In the case of plants, if you take Solanaceae is a family, like that, we have to read about Convolvulaceae. Okay. So remember all these families. It will be important in class, chapter 5th. Okay. In this class only, class 11th. But both belongs to the order Polymoniales. So in the exam, if the question comes, which among the following is order? By giving options like Solanaceae, Convolvulaceae, Polynomials. Don't get confused. Always order, when mentioning order, it always ends with ales, sapindales, polymoniales, like that. Okay. Whereas the family, in the case of plants I'm talking about, family always ends with AC. AC, Solanaceae, Convolvulaceae, Poaceae. So like that, it always sounds with AC. It always ends with ales. Remember, it is for order, it is for family. Right? Now, these similar order, the organisms which are having a common order are more similarities that will be placed under a class. Okay? Look at here. Look at here. A mammalia is a class. So we can take so many classes. If I just take class, I can include here Pisces belongs to a class. It is one class. Amphibia is also a class. Okay. Reptilia is also a class. Like that, even mammalia is also a class. So those animals which have mammary glands to feed their young ones. The female organism, they have mammary glands to feed their young ones are nothing but they comes under the group of mammalia. So whatever be their mode of reproduction or their body nature or their eating habitat, living things, everything may look different. But if they have mammary glands to feed their young ones, they all comes under the class of mammalia. So that's why see, all primata as well as the carnivora comes under this mammalia group only. Carnivora, just now we have seen the dog family, cat family, everything came here. And here in primata group, human being, gorilla, chimpanzee, everything comes under here. So there is a lot of difference. Gorilla, chimpanzee, apes, human being, they show menstrual cycle, female. Okay. Whereas these one, they show estrous cycle. You will understand in class 12th, estrous cycle, menstrual cycle. But because of that one particular character, they kept under where? In mammalia. We can't keep it in amphibia, Pisces or reptilia. Understood? So, they are having some similar characters. Now, these class, if they have some common in nature, because they do have a notochord, that is as their solid rod-like structures in their backbone. Therefore, what I did, in the sense, what scientists did, they kept those classes animals, either the Pisces, amphibia, reptilia, everybody into chordata group. Okay? Comes here. So they are kept under a group of chordata. So it is once again another taxon. Right? So it consists Pisces, amphibia, reptilia, aves, mammals, everybody. Now, all these are animals, they are not plants. Correct? Pisces belong to fishes. Amphibians like a frog, reptiles, everybody are animals only. Therefore, where I have kept, we kept in a large kingdom called animals. Suppose if they are plants, either it is a algae, bryophyte, pteridophyte, whatever, but they are plants, no, they have a green color. They can prepare their food. Okay, let it keep it in a kingdom called Plantae. So like that, kingdom is the largest group. Species is the smallest group. So now you can understand why as we move up in the category or up in the hierarchy, the similarity become lesser. Because here in this animal kingdom, you can keep the cockroach also, you can keep a human being also. But you cannot see the similarities, same similarities between the cockroach as well as the human being. Because cockroach is totally different. It belongs to insect group, whereas human being only. But why we kept under in animal kingdom? Because both are animals. Correct. But if I take human being as well as the gorilla, chimpanzee, we can see certain similarities. Right? So that's why as we just keep moving in a hierarchy, we can get less similarity, not more similarity. Okay? So till now, what we have understood about this category, let us summarize together and let me write with an example till now what we have read. Okay? Let me write here. See, let me begin from here, from the species. So here for the species, which are all the example I took? I took the examples. In the sense, here NCERT has given the example. There is a Panthera leo, Panthera tigris, Panthera leopard, or Panthera pardus. So these are the examples they have given. So all are having some similar nature. Therefore, they comes under which group? They comes under the same genus. What is that genus? Nothing but Panthera. So in Panthera genus itself, we are going to see this. This one belong to this. Correct? But Felis is different. Felis is different genus where we are not going to include this. But that also comes under the genus only. But these two genus, Panthera and Felis, comes under the same family called Felidae. So this is family. Correct? Felis, Panthera as well as the Felis. Whereas in Felidae, this is a cat family. We cannot put a dog family called Canidae. We cannot put dog family. Correct? Now, but these two family, Felidae and Canidae, can be kept in a same order. Same order. Which is that order? Carnivora. Carnivora. Whereas Primata has a different order. We cannot put it into the Primata. Primata comes under, Primata consists gorilla, chimpanzee, human being, everybody. But where Canidae and Felidae do not belong, let me write in different color. But this Carnivora and Primata, they do have mammary glands. Therefore, they comes under the same class called what? What is the class? Mammalia. So, just like Mammalia, there are certain other classes also there, but they do not include these two. Correct? So, what are those classes? Aves comes under here. Reptilia, Pisces. So, all those things comes under here. These are, I'm not getting enough space to write. Okay, let me write here. All are comes under in the same phylum. So what is this phylum? This phylum is nothing but Chordata. Or else I'll do one thing. Let me write together. Hope you are understanding. Let me rub this or let me take a different slide to write because I'm not getting enough space here to write. Let me write in small. Yes, up to this much we have learnt now. So this belongs to same family. Whereas this belongs to same family. Carnivora family includes Felidae and Canidae. Whereas Carnivora and Primata comes under Mammalia, but these are different. Now, in a phylum called Chordata, we are going to see all these classes belongs to. But do you think only one phylum is there in the world? No, there are 10 phylum. 10 phylum are there. So those 10 phylum you have already learnt in your lower classes. What are those? Phylum Porifera, phylum Coelenterata. Okay, I can't write fully here because you are going to learn in detail about all those things. Porifera, Coelenterata, Annelida, Arthropoda, Echinodermata, Mollusca. So like that we can make a list of so many phylum here. So many phylum. Coelenterata, Arthropoda, Annelida, Echinodermata, Mollusca, Hemichordata, like that we can list. But all this belongs to the only one kingdom, that is animal kingdom. So animal kingdom, in a general we can write as Animalia. Correct? Now can you see how the similarity keep decreasing as we move up? Okay, so hope I'm very clear about this concept. So if you are making a notes, please make a list of all those things. So this is about animals. If I just take the example of a plant, let me write here, example of a plant. So let me consider once again the species. Write down in your copy along with me without seeing board. Now, instead of phylum, what I have to write here? Division I have to write. And as usual, cough. And here the genus. Now see, here NCERT has mentioned Solanum tuberosum. It took the example of potato. So like that it took Solanum melongena. That is a brinjal. So both belongs to which family? Belongs to the, genus Solanum. That means to this genus, these two species comes. Okay. Now, if I take another genus like Datura, Petunia, they are different, right? But all are having somehow similar character. Therefore, they comes under which family? Solanaceae. So, all comes under this family, though they are different genus. But Solanaceae family is different, whereas Convolvulaceae is different. but still because of certain similarities, they are kept under a same order called polynomials. Polynomials, only up to this much information is given in our NCERT. So you also, if you learn this much, that is enough for plants. Okay. So that means here we are going higher in hierarchy. So where similarities decreases. Okay. Hope you are getting my point. So this is about plants. So finish. Chapter over. I forgot to inform in the beginning itself. See, in all 32 videos, what you are watching, by getting membership, you will be having one advantage that after every topic in a chapter, for example, in one chapter, one topic over, and after that, we are going to discuss few MCQ. That MCQ will be concept based and applied level. It is not previous year MCQ. In previous year MCQ, easily you can solve. But if the question comes in a level 3 format, so that you have to use your brain, you have to use your knowledge, you have to apply your knowledge, then how come you are having a confidence that yes, this is how we need to apply? So like such practice also you need, right? So in all these video, we have such questions, applied and concept based question, so that it helps you a lot. Okay. But as it is a very small chapter, here maximum one question you can get in your NEET exam, but still we cannot ignore, because one question is also not a small thing, because it carries how much? 4 marks, right? Just for difference in 1 mark, so many ranks get differences. So that's why we should be very careful in each and every question. If you learned all this information and if you read NCERT, trust me, you can easily score marks in this chapter. You won't get any confusion at all while solving the paper. Okay. Now, let's move on to the MCQ part. Okay. Sorry, before going to the MCQ, let us learn this table. It's your duty, you have to learn. See, here the common name of 4 organisms are given. Just open your textbook if you have with you and just look at there, what are all the information has given. About the man, biological name we know that Homo sapien. I have to underline it separately. Okay. So that means Homo is the genus and sapien is the species. He belongs to the family called Hominidae. Therefore, the order Primata and class Mammalia, he belongs to Chordata. Okay, easily we can learn. Whereas housefly common name is Musa domestica. Genus is Musa and family is Mucidae. Musa domestica, Mucidae. And order is quite confusing. Usually the students forget, but you have to remember Diptera. And class Insecta, houseflies insect group, no, Insecta. And phylum, division, Arthropoda. Division we cannot say, it's a phylum only, Arthropoda. And mango and wheat, both are plants only, no. Therefore, we have to consider it as a division only. Now, what is the scientific name? Mangifera indica. Genus is Mangifera. It belongs to family Anacardaceae. Okay. So see, family always ends with AC. And here the order Sapindales. And here only 2 classes we are going to see in plants. In the case of animals, 5 classes we have seen. In plants, dicotyledone or monocotyledone. Dicot means all your big, huge plant like a banyan tree, mango tree, all are dicot only. Wheat, grass, these are monocot. They are very, very small. Okay. So, they belongs to Angiospermae. Remember. And wheat, Triticum aestivum, genus Triticum, family Poaceae. And order Poales and monocotyledone, because grass family, this one is. And Angiospermae, you have to remember it. Okay, because sometimes the questions can be framed from this table also. For example, housefly comes under the family. So, by giving other family, if the option mentioned as Mucidae, you should know Mucidae is the answer. Understood now? Now, let us enter into the question part. Here, only few questions, around 9 to 10 questions I have put as a sample question. And rest of the thing you can solve. You have to solve as many questions as possible. Then only you will become thorough. Okay, after watching the videos. After understanding the concept. Okay, let us see the first question here. Select the incorrect statement. Let us read all 4 statements. Which one is incorrect? We need to identify. The word systematic is derived from Latin word systema. This is correct only because it is an NCERT line. All these lines are given in NCERT. Okay. All taxonomic categories together constitute taxonomic hierarchy. When they are present together, then only we can arrange in an order, right? So that's why we call it as a hierarchy. This is also correct. Taxonomic categories are merely morphological aggregate. So this is wrong answer. So what they are telling, taxonomic category are merely morphological aggregate. That means they are telling just by looking at the morphology, we are aggregating into different group. No, we are going to see their biological entities also. Okay, so therefore this is incorrect statement. This is incorrect statement, but here we need to mark the incorrect one. Therefore this is our answer even. And each rank is a category. Of course it is right, but our answer is this one. Next, mark the odd one with reference to taxonomic category. Okay, so here few categories are given. So we need to identify which one is not belongs to this group. Felidae, Solanaceae, Canidae, Carnivora. So few comes in a plant group, few are in animal group. But why? Many students, what they do, no? Oh, they will just stick on to Solanaceae because it belongs to family of, family of plant. But see, how we need to identify here. Felidae. Felidae is a family. Which family? It is a cat family. Canidae, it is also a family. Which family? It is a dog family. Solanaceae, it is also a family. Solanum, Datura, all those things. So all these three are family only, but Carnivora is a order. Carnivora is a order. Therefore, this is our answer, not these three. Because all these three are family related. This is order related. Okay, so like this we need to understand. Next question. Which of the following taxonomic category comes after order in ascending order? After order in ascending order. Don't get confused. So they are telling when you just kept all the taxon in a hierarchy, that is in a order wise, which one comes after order? Is it a family, species, class, genus? Look at here. This is NCERT image. We have represented in a hierarchical form. Correct. So here species comes first. It is in ascending order only. Genus, family, order. So question is, which hierarchy comes or which group or which taxon comes after order? After order comes class only. Correct. So therefore the answer is class. Okay. If it is descending order, after order, which one should be the answer? Family should be the answer. But here ascending order. Next question. Find the incorrect match. What is the incorrect match? Man, Hominidae. Correct. Housefly, Felidae is given. No, this is wrong. Housefly, it is Mucidae. Mucidae. Not Felidae. Felidae is cat family. Mango, Anacardiaceae, correct match. Wheat, Poaceae, correct match. But this is incorrect match. This is our answer even. Right, no? Have you seen the table? See, housefly, Mucidae family. Correct? Next question. Yes. Mayer, Ernest Mayer, proposed which type of concept of species? Taxonomic concept, biological concept, taxonomic and biological concept, and genetic concept. Which concept? Biological concept. Correct? How the question can be framed? That is from each and every line of NCERT can be picked as a question. So you should be thorough in that. So how, when you become thorough? Only when you understand the concept. Minimum 4 to 5 times you have to read NCERT. After watching video, then only you will become perfect. The scientific naming of plants began with the publication of Linnaeus' book. Which book Linnaeus has published? I said Systema Naturae. Correct? So Systema Naturae is the answer. This is also given in NCERT. I am not telling anything apart from NCERT, out of NCERT. Everything is there in NCERT only, but we should be smart enough to think about that. Okay, it's not genera Plantarum, species Plantarum, Charaka, Sankita. Next question. In taxonomy, the first step is, what is the first step in taxonomy? That means when you take an organism to a taxonomist, what he did? He studied the characters. Then he went to identifying the animal. Correct? If the characterization is not given, what I said in the beginning, characterization and identification together club and can be considered as identification only. So therefore, here if not characterization, then let us pick identification as the first step. Nomenclature is the last step. And third step is classification, not affinities. Next. Who is regarded as Darwin of 20th century? Who? Our Ernest Mayer. not Lamarck, John Day and Darwin. See, this question is not framed by me. I mean, this question is in, answer of this question is in NCERT only. Look at here, I have a reference also. This page you can find in NCERT textbook before the start of the chapter. The first page of this chapter itself, unit. They're talking about the Ernest Mayr. Here, if you just read this line, you could able to see here in the third line, they have mentioned about the Darwin of 20th century. Okay, so like that the question can be framed. You should be aware about it. Okay, next. The term taxon refers to, taxon means what? Each taxon, each category itself is a taxon. Taxon, rank, category, all are same. All are same. Okay, a taxonomic group of any rank in the sense, kingdom is a rank, phylum is a rank, species, genus, order, class, everything is a rank. Everything is a taxon. Everything is a category. Okay, it's not a name of species, genus or any family. So this is the answer. So it's the last question, I think. Which of the following is the correct name? See, everything is about Solanum tuberosum, but how to identify? You have to use the knowledge of binomial nomenclature system. In binomial nomenclature system, what they said? It should be in italics. So everything is in italics. Okay, fine. So that's why what the students will go. Students will do no. They will just stick on to all of the above. But remember, Solanum tuberosum. This is correct. They can tick for this also, but they cannot tick Solanum tuberosum. That is to the second option, because here it is begin with capital letter. Species name should be begin with small letter. Therefore, this is not an answer. Okay. Now, all of the above cannot be the answer because here itself we got the mistake. It's wrong. But when you just look at option A and C, which one is more precise answer here? Obviously, option C. Because here, Solanum tuberosum, after they have mentioned lin. Lin means the lineage has introduced this binomial nomenclature. So, therefore, this is the very much pretty correct answer. So, therefore, this could be our answer, not even option D. Okay. So, like this, you need to solve the MCQ. So, this is what the end of this chapter. So, hope you have understood the concept very well. If you like the video, just hit the like button. It's somehow, it gives a motivation to me to do further classes. Okay. And even share the videos to your friends also. Okay. Tell them to become a member to the channel so that let them get maximum benefit. Okay. Thanks for watching.